Mrs. Kessler, with the TU5200, you get also three standards. A 20 NTU standard, a 600 NTU standard, and a 10 NTU standard to verify your measurement values. Would you like me to show you how easy it is to perform a calibration?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, so let's do this. Mrs. Kessler, calibration and verification is of course always very important, which is why you can find the corresponding menu items here on the navigation bar. Would you please press on calibration for me?
Sure.
Great. So let's first define how we want to calibrate. Please go to Options and then to Calibration Setup. Thank you very much. So what do we see here? Here we have a calibration reminder. So what you can do is you can set a time interval between calibrations. So when calibration is due, the display then will show you a reminder, that's all. Here we have reset to factory calibration. Here you have the possibility to set the calibration settings to the factory default. And here we have verify after calibration. You can set this to on and off. When it is set to on, you will be prompted to perform a measurement of the 10 NTU verification standard immediately after calibration. If you set it to off, you would need to do a verification separately. Now let's go to the interesting things. Could you go to calibration curve for me?
Sure.
Don't be confused by the fact that you now see so many different menu items here. I promise you, it's very easy. If you use our standards, only the first two menu items are of interest to you. These two options here are identical to the first ones. The only difference is that here you would have to prepare your own Pharmacene standards, okay? And then we have degree and SDVB that is not really used in drinking water sector. And here with custom calibration, you have the opportunity to do 1 to 6 point calibration. It is not really useful or not really used in drinking water, but of course, at least the option is still available. If you would choose the first option here, Rapid Cal 0 to 40, you would then only have to calibrate with our 20 NTU standard. So that is only a 1 point calibration. This is done very quickly and typically sufficient if you expect small turbidity values in your samples. You mentioned that you measure in the area of your filters and in the finished drinking water. So I would assume that this 1 point calibration would make total sense for those samples.
But why does it say 0 to 40 here?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. You mean this 0 to 40 here?
Yes.
Because when you choose this calibration curve, you would calibrate with the 20 NTU standard only over a measuring range of 0 to 40, because the calibration curve is linear in turbidity up to 40 NTU.
Ah, this makes sense.
Should we do this calibration?
Yes, please.
Okay. So 0 to 40 is already selected. Could you please press then OK and close that window? Okay, so now we are in the calibration menu. So you see here already the calibration curve we have selected. And you see here that you are asked now to perform the 20 NTU standard measurement. Before you put the 20 NTU standard into the instrument, please invert the vial. I would say approximately 10 times, very gently. Yeah, correct, like this. Because we need to avoid the formation of air bubbles which would interfere the measurement. And now please clean the glass surface with a tissue. Yeah, very good. Please pay also attention to the bottom of the vial. As you know, this is where the laser enters the vial. Perfect. Let's do the calibration now. Okay, please put the standard into the instrument. And now press start. So you will be asked to enter the value. 20.0 is fine. So you can go to OK and then to read. Okay, done. So all information are now summarized here. So time and date, the calibration curve we chose, and of course the measuring of the standard. The instrument did a little correction, and if you click on store, all of these information will be stored in the calibration log. Mrs. Kessler, how did you feel about it? Was it difficult or was it easy to do?
Operating the instrument was very easy. You just need to pay attention that the vial has to be inverted gently and often enough, and that it is clean before doing the measurement.
Correct. So what we just did was totally sufficient and totally accurate. What you can do, the complete thing, a little faster, easier, and I would say even a little bit more precise.
Really?
Yes, let me show you. If you use a TO5200 with RFID technology, then the standards also have RFID technology. Let me show you the purpose of this. Okay, please take the 20 NTU standard and hold the lid to the RFID interface. So now you can carry out a calibration directly without pressing any buttons. What has also changed? It no longer says 20.0 here, it says 20.5. Why is this? Calibration standards are produced in lots, and you can imagine that it is very difficult to produce always calibration standards with values of exactly 20.0 NTU. Small deviations are always to be expected. So these values might vary slightly from lot to lot. Here now we see the precise value of this specific vial, which belongs to this specific lot. You could also use this value now to do your calibration, but it's up to you how you perform.
This is a great feature. Thank you very much for showing me this.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go back to the calibration setup menu now. Great, and now calibration curve again. You mentioned also that you measure the turbidity of the influent of your plant. So if you expect higher values in the influent of a plant, it might make sense to do a two-point calibration. And this is where the 600 NTU standard comes into the game. Because if you select this option now, you will perform a two-point calibration with the 20 and 600 NTU standard over a range of 0 to 1000 NTU. Would you like to do a two-point calibration?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so it's already selected, so please press OK and then close this window. You will now see in this calibration menu that the calibration curve is selected, and you see here you will be prompted to measure first the 20 NTU standard followed by the 600 NTU standard. Basically, we are now doing the same thing as before, only with the addition of the 600 NTU standard. Okay, let's take a 20 NTU standard now. Invert the vial, please, clean it, and then we do the measurement.
Mr. Weiermann, could I now also use the RFID lid to read in standard information?
That is a very good question. Of course you can do that. Let's do this. Put the lid in front of the interface, please. And you see now it has changed to 20.5 again, and now you can do the measurement. Perfect. You see, you will now be asked to take the measurement with the 600 NTU standard, which has also this RFID chip. So let's prepare the 600 NTU standard now. Okay, now use the RFID chip of the standard. Okay, perfect. Here now you can see the precise value of this standard, 592 NTU, with the corresponding lot number. So please enter the vial now and trigger a measurement. Perfect, calibration done. And here you have again the summary of the calibration, which the two measured standards, the correction of the instrument, and if I click on store, it is stored in your calibration log. Mrs. Kessler, to verify the accuracy of the instrument readings, you can carry out a verification at any time. That's what the 10 NTU standard is for. This is done very quick. Please go and press the verification button for me. Thank you very much. And now we will be asked to measure the 10 NTU verification standard. Now prepare the vial again by inverting it gently about 10 times, clean it with a tissue, and then you can make the measurement. Of course, here you can also use the RFID technology if you like. Yeah, okay. And now read. Okay, great, looks very good. So verification passed, you have that information here. So the measurement is 10.2 of the verification standard, and this is the acceptance range to understand if the verification has passed or not. So values between 9 and 11 would be acceptable, and so we are all good. So the measuring values are verified. Thank you very much.